Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to the February 20th, 2013 Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting. Commissioner Kokoski has our dog this morning.
I have a cute one, always. Little male pug mix, pretty young, about a year, maybe 2 years old. He will be available on Friday. Come down to the Lorain County Dog Kennel. Check us out on our website. We've been getting a lot of dogs adopted. He's really sweet looking. He just a lover. He would just probably sit on your lap and keep you warm all winter long. We've had a lot of people come out and adopt our dogs. We were having like 30 or 40 dogs. Now we just have, 16. So thank you for all your help. Make sure that, when you're looking for a dog, let the Lorain County Dog Pound be your first place to look because we have a lot of great dogs there. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam Clerk?
Okay. Job and family bills.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
There are no investments for today. Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
There are no advances or repayments today. Requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Cortez, I got your explanation on that Gore Orphanage retaining wall.
Are you satisfied?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I forgot where we left off. Sorry.
Mr. Kalo?
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Okay. Travel?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Under bills?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Number 9, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Cordez?
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have a couple brief items with regard to some appointments and potential hire possibly at 911. Also, we may discuss ongoing labor negotiations. We may be discussing that all year. There's a lot of contracts. I don't know if those talks will occur, but they might. And also, I would like to talk with you about the potential purchase of real estate. Those subjects are allowable for executive session talks, and I would ask at the conclusion of our regular board meeting today, we go into executive session, we discuss those items that I have indicated. Thank you.
Okay, under Job and Family Services, number 10, advertise an invitation to bid for a storage area network and warranty agreement for Job and Family Services. Notice to be in the Morning Journal on February 25 and March 4. Bids to be opened at 2:15 p.m. on March 11th in Meeting Room D.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Number 11, approve and enter into a renewal agreement with Maximus Consulting Services Incorporated to update the space report for the Job and Family Services building, not to exceed professional services fee of $3,700 for consultant services, and to be charged to account number miscellaneous consulting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Under engineer, number 12, instruct the clerk to advertise for bids for Abbe Rd widening project in the city of Elyria in Sheffield Village, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know this is a much-needed project. It's a $2.5 million project with $2 million being paid by Federal Highway Administration through NOACA, and the remaining 20%, which is $500,000, will be split by Elyria and Sheffield Village. It's a 1,000-foot to the Sheffield Corporation line limit and 380-foot north of Detroit Road. So it's really congested in that area, and it's going to be a really nice project once it's completed.
It's actually going to be double turn
Yeah,
lanes.
four lanes,
It's a heck of
a four-lane roadway.
This will take it all the way down to the main entrance to the community college where that bottleneck occurs right now about 3 times daily, and relieve that pressure up until the first main entrance turn right across from La Cheetah's there in that plaza. So it's a good project. Sheffield Village and Elyria have been working on this a long time, and I gotta give a hats off to both mayors for finally getting this done, and I know the county commissioners were involved through NOACA to help with that funding. I think they've been working on this 4 or 5 years.
Oh, a long time. A long
Now
time
I'm going to
get
be
this
living
project
over in that
through.
area, so that's why I got done. No,
Oh, is
just
that what it
kidding.
is? Okay.
For your benefit, Greg.
Just kidding.
Okay, Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
I'm sorry.
He said aye.
Did he? Okay, I didn't hear. Okay.
What? What did he say?
I said, all I could think of is now property value just dropped in that area.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
You're funny.
Okay. Number 13, approve and enter into a LPA agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation to resurface LaGrange Road, County Road 19, from US 20 to Oberlin-Elyria Road, and authorize Lorain County engineer to execute on behalf of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez?
I have no additional comments. I want to thank you.
Okay. Tom, do you have anything today?
have nothing.
Okay. Commissioners?
It was a short week, Monday being a holiday, and also my birthday. See, President's Day, Lori's birthday, same, it's a very important day. So we were closed on Monday, and
Just for you, Commissioner.
just for me, right? Yeah. Had a really great birthday. Went to a Japanese, what do they call that? Steakhouse, where they cook it in front of you and they flip
They play with
food
your
in your
food.
mouth, and it was a riot. It was a lot of fun. So I had a really good birthday. What else? Oh, yesterday we had a public hearing for the Gore Orphanage ditch, and I just want to thank everybody that participated in that. That's kind of why we have public hearings. A lot of information came to light during that time that we spent together yesterday to find out whether or not it's a ditch project, or if it was a public project or a private project. So thank you for all those that attended that yesterday. Thank you. And that's the end of my report. Short week.
Happy 40th birthday again, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say 29.
No, 40 again.
No, it's always 40.
40.
For the last decade.
It hasn't been a decade.
Yeah, Gore Orphanage Ditch, it was very good, all the input that was put in. Also, I was in Columbus on Friday for the Commissioners Association meeting. We've got our legislative priorities. Director of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources was there discussing fracking issues and how counties are dealing with that. Also, on one of my news feeds on Twitter, something unique in regards to fracking, Mr. Cortez. Allegheny County, which is Pittsburgh, just authorized mineral rights sales on their county airport to generate dollars for it.
Well, that would probably take me about 10 years working with the FAA, as bureaucratic and obtuse as they can be. So we can look into it, but I wouldn't think we're going to see anything soon.
Well, I was just saying, because last week we had the presentation for the lady who was from Pennsylvania, who was against the fracking, and then yesterday or day before, Allegheny County Council, which is similar to the charter form of government in Cuyahoga County,
Right.
voted to sell the mineral rights for fracking to the Pittsburgh airport.
I'd sell the fence around the airport to raise some revenue.
Scrap.
$1 million is what it cost to put in, wasn't it?
Excuse me?
$1 million to put the fence in.
It didn't happen under this administration. So.
And also, we laid out our legislative priorities as they're going through the budget talks. Governor Kasich did his State of the State yesterday, but we have some major issues that commissioners are working on: adequate funding for county services and mandated functions that were cut with the local government funds, and the state sitting on a $1.9 billion surplus. It does look like through the budget we'll get 40% reimbursement, though, on our indigent attorney fees, which is 5% higher than we received the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but the big thing in the budget is the inability to raise revenue if it's passed. And it's going to be a major issue with some of the counties with a very low sales tax base already. The ones that are already piggybacked up high actually will probably see a bit of a windfall, but those that are low on the piggyback tax, and if they're precluded from the ability to go on the ballot, are going to have a problem. And they're going to have a problem with their bond rating, because one of the things that we've been able to demonstrate, and counties in similar situations size to us, is that we can raise revenue in an emergency when we need to. And if we lose that ability, it's going to be hard to convince the rating agencies that while we're suffering through cuts and reduced revenues, that if something bad should happen, that we would immediately be able to go to the taxpayers, either to impose a tax on a limited basis and or to put it on the ballot. Losing that ability is going to be dangerous to our bond rating.
Well, we'll see what they go through committee. I also talked to State Representative Lundy yesterday. He called me. He's on the Transportation Committee, and they're pulling all the language out of the 90% of the revenue from the turnpike bonding not going to the northern counties. They're pulling out that language. So I left a phone call for Executive Fitzgerald yesterday. He had a busy day. He was doing his State of the County, and I'm sure he was, whatever the rest of his day, hopes to within the day of our coalition's going to do anything and discuss with NOACA the issues.
Well, Commissioner, when you look at it, they indicate there may be a possible 10% windfall on the reduced sales tax from the state, and then taxing of other services. That may be just fine for us. Over the 0.5% and the 0.25% for the jail, that would equate to potentially on the high end $2.4 million.
That's even after the rollback? That's after the rollback?
That's after the rollback.
Right.
So that's less than, that's about 30%, 25% of what a 0.25% sales tax would bring in. That doesn't really do it for us. I think some of the things in the state budget are good, but I think that they should leave the piggyback tax up to the local jurisdiction of whether they utilize it or not, especially since we use it with the rating agencies to demonstrate the ability, not necessarily needing to, but the ability to raise revenue. At this point, we can no longer tell them, if this goes into effect for the next 3 years, should an event occur that requires attention with money, that we could go and raise revenues. We won't be able to.
Right. That's one of our, again, major discussion points from Friday. So we'll be working on that going forward. Into my report.
Thank you for handling the meeting yesterday. I was under the weather and been so pretty much for the entire weekend. So while you had a good birthday, I was sitting at home trying to recover. I have been working with some state legislators to go through and take a look at coming up with a way to reduce our cost as far as being required to put bids in newspapers for public bids, not notifications. Starting to gain some support on that. They're starting to gather the numbers that come in for Lorain County. The initial number is about $28,000 a year, what we spend for bids. Once I get more information on it, I'm going to be coming back to the board to ask for your support on this as well.
Well, that came through. We sent all the information down 2 months ago, Lisa, in regards to what we spend on public notifications in newspapers. When did we do that?
I think I gave you some information late last year.
Was it late last year we did it? Yeah, so
Right.
that's one of the tip of the iceberg issues. is
Yeah.
letting us find other ways of advertising without having to do it through the
Yeah,
papers. and
I
they're
know with the
ungodly costs.
notifications, the
Right.
issue that comes up with, when you notify an individual, they
Mhm.
say that not everyone has access to a computer.
Mhm.
I'm trying to break it down to notifications and bids,
Mhm.
because if you have a bid, more likely you're a company, so
Mhm.
the only ones that would be impacted would be Amish. So working with the legislators, maybe a way to get around it where it would be an either or an option for the counties to put in the newspapers if they need to, or just go to the state website, because the state of Ohio is trying to get more traffic to their
Right.
website. So may not be able to get notifications, but we may be able to do it for the bids.
Yeah, they've been asking us to share all that information, and it's been ongoing, so let's
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah, Lisa was able to provide some of the information, separating it from notification and bids, so I just sent that down to the state.
Wasn't it like $23,000 or $24,000?
$28,000 just for bids,
It's quite a bit.
yeah. And that, so, we'll wait and see what happens on there, and end of my report.
I got to add one thing, though. I did discussions with Sheffield Lake. Rota Group from Columbus is looking for letters of support from the county commissioners. I had not pushed anything forward to the board until I spoke to Sheffield Lake. It's in the package. Tom, I don't know if you had a chance to see it. Sheffield Lake City Council, the service director, and Mayor Bring have all sent letters of support for this project.
Yeah.
So I had Janice draw up based on what they sent us, supporting them going to the Ohio tax credit.
Yeah, I saw the emails going
Right.
through,
So
so.
I was waiting for these guys, and Sheffield Lake did theirs last week, and they forwarded it to me. I think I got it Friday or Saturday in my email, so I sent it to Janice for signature, because they need that by the 23rd.
There you go.
So if you can send that down, Janice?
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk?
Okay, we have a presentation here, Mr. Don Shoemaker.
Don,
Don?
you're up.
You're up. We have a PowerPoint presentation too, I believe. Jim?
I gotcha.
Ernie's back there. Yeah. Oh, he knows how to do it. Very good.
I better.
Yeah.
Coming on after the dog is a tough act to follow.
Yes, it is. I know. They're always very cute.
Thank you all for having us here today. I'd like to introduce Eva Mercer. She is our Chief Operating Officer, and if we have the privilege of going forward and working for your county, she will be managing the total project from a Chief Operating Officer perspective. She'll be doing some discussion on the project that we are currently working on for the city of Avon Lake, whose mayor is here as well. Okay? So, Ziba? A little background on our organization. Personally, I have been an independent telecommunications consultant since 1971, so I'm no young chicken. But we have been actively involved in our current business in public sector for about 20 years. We look at things in a very broad way, both strategic and tactical is what we would be doing for your county. Tactical to me is reducing your costs. Tactical is looking at ways to improve specific communications problems or opportunities. Strategic would be addressing the applications. You have an infrastructure, telecom infrastructure called MyTel. It's a very good system. We recently installed it into the city of Hudson, by the way. There are very advanced capabilities within that system that can improve productivity and, as a strategic benefit, enable you to provide better services to the community. Another strategic opportunity, which you've heard a lot of around the county, is how to leverage broadband technology, not only to improve community services, but to drive economic development. So our role for your county would be to look at things both tactically and strategically. We look at things from both a shared and individual basis. This study would be looking primarily at what we can do for your county, but in the context of how you, in the future, if you wanted to get into a more collaborative, shared services opportunity with other public sector organizations, you would have the platform in place to do it. 20 years of experience, as I was saying, under our current organization, we have 20 years, actually 42-year legacy. We have 50 clients under the current Tequiti banner. I'm going to show you some of them. We have 13 of these clients are in Lorain County. We currently are serving Northeast Ohio, but towards the end of this year, we intend to go statewide. We have two really interesting endorsements. One is the Ohio Schools Council, which is the largest cooperative of K through 12 schools in the state, and the other is the statewide Association for the Libraries. We look at what we call is the communications infrastructure integration. Up until about the last 10 to 12 years, maybe 15 years, most of technology or telecommunications was looked at in what I refer to as silos, individual components, individual departments, and that was okay because the technology hadn't come to the point where you could really benefit from what is called convergence and integration. What we do is we look at the voice, your data, and those important advanced applications in a very holistic 360 way. And that is really the key to maximizing the cost reductions and getting the greatest return on your investment from the functionality. So we look at things holistically, okay? As I just mentioned, future-proof execution. What you want to be able to do is deploy advanced technology that'll be with you 10 to 15 to 20 years in the future. You don't want to be having to look at what they call end of life every 4 to 5 years where you have to go through the same process again. Prove it. We have a proven methodology for assessment. We've been doing this a long time. We would be coming in and doing a very broadband assessment, doing a preliminary design. We actually do the project implementation for our clients. Probably in excess of 95% of our clients ask us to project implement or manage the implementation of the solution. And we show how to save money. And that is going to be one of the big secret sauces, if you would, of this process. We also do a little risk sharing. Some consultants charge pretty high fees for saving money. We charge a very, very low fee and take a risk assessment because we charge it on a contingency basis based upon we actually save you. We're independent. We're not a vendor. We're an independent organization, and we're vendor and product agnostic. We work for our clients, and we search out the best opportunities in the industry for our clients. Experience in the public sector. Prior to doing some pro bono work, in 1999, we started in the public sector through the Ohio Schools Council, who then introduced us to county governments, mayors, city managers, colleges. We have done over 200 public sector projects across the state since 1999. This is a little framework of the process. We're recommending two. The one would be on the quadrant on your top left. And basically what we're talking about is doing a very comprehensive and holistic assessment of your complete voice and data telecommunications infrastructure at all your sites on an integrated basis. Come back, show you where things are, how things can be improved, and show you a roadmap to how to get it done. Secondly, on the far right, we're all interested in saving money. We would do a cost optimization study to look at both immediate and long-term savings. We can be completed with this project in 3 to 4 months. Then we will come back with results of that, and if you elect to go forward, we could then manage RFP processes, competitive analysis, and how to get things implemented. Our fee for doing the broad-based assessment is $5,000. The fee to do the cost optimization is $4,500 plus a contingency fee, which is equal to 6 times the audited monthly savings. So typically you come in on the cost savings with less than a 7-month payback. Okay? I mentioned, maybe I didn't. Going back 4 years ago, we were asked by many public sector leaders in Northeast Ohio because One, the recession hit, and it became very serious about collaboration and shared services. We were asked to put together a technology purchasing cooperative, which is what we've done. And what the vendors tell us, it is the largest technology purchasing cooperative anywhere in the Midwest. What we see here are, we have 19 different contracts with different providers covering 200 to 300 different technology products and services. So in addition to guaranteed discounts that would be available to you, you're also looking at service level benefits and other factors that we have negotiated into these contracts. Now, one of the key contracts we have is Windstream. Windstream is your serving telephone company. And I believe they serve all but one site, the Board of Elections, which is CenturyLink. We're currently negotiating with CenturyLink and Frontier to help other organizations in your county. So these contracts become very, very important ingredient as part of the process. This is just a look at some of our public sector clients. Again, there's 13 in Lorain County. Smallest client is actually the Village of Grafton, and they're in Frontier territory. The largest is University Hospitals. We have done a major cost reduction project for University Hospitals that we have just completed the first phase. So this gives you a sense of the small, medium, large. There's a cross-section of everything from healthcare to K through 12 to municipalities, Summit County. So there's a broad section here. Let's talk about cost savings. These are just 4 of the projects we have done and completed. Cost savings are averaging 33%, okay? 3 of these projects actually had the need to replace out-of-date equipment. In all 3 cases, we did it with Windstream. That's the city of Talmadge, the city of Hudson, and the city of Bedford Heights. In all 3 cases, the new technology solutions for these cities was totally paid for by the cost savings we generate. The bottom line is they got it for free, okay? The cost savings are really, consider it the bank. It's the funding to get the technology. So you have the bank, the technology is the enabler. The end game is what it can do to productivity, communication services, community services, economic development. That's really the end game. Cost savings and the technology are the enablers, okay? Over 75% of over 114 projects across Ohio, and the largest being Robinson Memorial Hospital at $2.3 million, were totally paid for by cost savings. Avon, City of Avon. City of Avon has been a client of us since 2005. We were called in by the lady whose quote is on here, June Mitchell, the Assistant Finance Director, because their service was so bad from their telephone company and their equipment and everything else was out of date. They couldn't serve the community. So they are still an active member, and they are the people who actually introduced us to other public sector organizations in Lorain County, including the city of Avon Lake. June makes a very interesting statement relative to the end game. She said, these improvements are definitely helping us achieve our goal to constantly improve services to our businesses and our residents. See, that was their end game. The cost savings of 37% helped fund it. The enabler is the technology. Okay. I would now like to introduce Zeba Mercer, our Chief Operating Officer. She has an extensive background in operations and in technology development, design, and implementation. She would be managing this with her staff in our company, and she has personally conducted the work for the City of Avon Lake. So she can speak to that better than I can. Zeba?
Thank you for your attention this morning. I want to highlight City of Avon Lake, and the key to this is the support of the mayor. Mayor Zilka, you and your team and staff have been absolutely phenomenal to work with, and they really want to provide collaboration and find best ways to work together as multiple departments coming together. So I've highlighted some of the key things that Tequiti have done for Avon Lake. We've put together the IT managed on-site services for them. They needed someone to take over and kind of really look at the technology and help do tier 1 support, tier 2 support, so help desk, that type of things, hardware, software. So we've actually helped them put OneLink, which is the company that they work together with the City of Avon Lake, to help in that role. Another key things that we work on is we did video surveillance. They have the pool area and they have the recreation area. We're trying to combine the video feeds together, so we've been working actively on pulling that part of it together. Another piece is just general hardware and software, and right now we're working on a workflow management solution that we're trying to put towards the city. One of the key things about this, initially it was the service department that really wanted to do this workflow management solution, but the more we talked to the constituents of the other departments, they said, hey, we can use this, council people can use this, we can use this to track information. So this is the first time we kind of really looked at all the different departments and said, hey, can we all work together to use the same platform to get a common goal that we can have a platform that everybody can use, have the same information. So we're actively underway using that workflow management solution. But the key to all this is a great staff, great departments who want to collaborate and work together, and the support from the leadership of Mayor Zilka. So with that, I want to say thank you for your time today.
So with the management on on-site IT services,
Yes,
you
sir.
provide technical support for hardware and software issues?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically you replace the IT department for companies.
We could. I mean, that is an option if that's an area that an organization needs. There's some organization that really doesn't have IT staff, so we come in and help them support that role. If they already have an IT staff, our goal is to augment that staff and help them achieve areas that they want to move forward with. So, for example, if they have one person who's working and he's always doing break fix, he doesn't really have time to do strategic planning or really work on the strategic goals of the city, then we can help them with those, tier 1, tier 2 support, the help desk type support, so then that IT staff can really focus on where their core competencies are in helping the city grow and expand those technology services. So we can help in multiple aspects. We really try to tier the services around the needs of the organization. So we really look at the leadership to tell us how they would like us to proceed.
Okay.
That's the only question, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd have a lot of them. Yeah, I know. I've met with Don, and I believe Commissioner Kokoski met with Don and going over. Mayor, anyone tell us anything about the experiences in Avon Lake? I know Avon's been happy with the service. I've talked to the city of Lorain. I know they're entertaining it. I also know that Lorain County wasn't part of the 6 counties that got the Local Government Innovation Fund. We didn't get our stuff done in time, and we had other issues. But so they did a 6-county shared service and got $100,000 from the state to look at combining all of those. So, but go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you, Chairman. We're very pleased with the service we've received from Tequiti. When I took over 13 months ago, we did have an IT company that we had contracts with, but the previous administration also had a part-time IT person who was sort of like, I know a lot about technology, and I also do something on the side, and he did know one thing, but didn't know the whole gamut. And we lost our way, got off track, and we brought in Tequiti, and they were able to look at another IT company to give us direction. We were able to make the choice ourselves, but they give you a broad spectrum of the pluses and minuses, what's good and what's bad, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the various firms out there. The more I talk, the more I'm going to show my ignorance in the IT area, but I can tell you we have complete confidence in their recommendations. We were looking at some cloud technology, as Ziba said, a platform by which we could share information through various departments and everything. And there gets to be a little bit of territorial feeling with the various department heads. By putting it in their hands, they are able to make the recommendations and create a structure which is going to work better for everyone. And it eliminated some of the competition and some of the rivalry among the departments as we looked at a recommendation from, or we're looking at a recommendation from Tequiti to give us direction so we can get the best use out of this new proposal. And it's amazing how well Ziba works with the various department heads and the various staff people. They have complete confidence in her. She's very accessible and does break things down in a very understandable manner. So we heard about them from Avon, as you heard, that Avon has been a user of them since 2005. And I was called and asked to be here to attest to their professionalism and their performance, I was very willing to do that. So I wholly endorse the services that they offer.
I have a question for you, Mayor, because I know in discussions, this isn't just about the equipment, because we've got a very qualified IT director, Ernie Smith, and that's who those people would be working with. But is the look at the broadband and the highway access for everyone getting on it, I've heard is a major issue. Everybody would like to be part of the same, I don't know.
Fiber optics?
The fiber optics, thank you, Commissioner.
In the previous administration, through Huawei, the cable company, did wire much of our city, and it's my understanding that we're basically to the railroad tracks, we're ready to hook up, and as soon as it goes throughout the county, we will be able to be part of that. Under the previous administration, they went out and they did contract with another telephone company, which did realize savings for the city, but it's my sincere belief that if we had done this under Tequiti, our savings and perhaps the vendor that we have might have been different, and we would have gotten a better deal than what we have now. We do see some limitations with the phone company we have now, and we only wish that we had signed on with them a little bit earlier so they could have given us some advice and some direction. But we do have fiber optic throughout the city, and we're willing, and I think we're ready to be part of a countywide effort in that area.
I think that would be the intent. I mean, from my standpoint, is how we connect everybody and find cost savings and shared services to bring our costs down, because we're not going to be able to generate more revenue.
Correct.
Necessarily, and especially in light of what happens to the state budget. So I mean, I would like to discuss this probably with Ernie a little bit and see what those needs are, because he's had some ideas I've spoken about too in regards to equipment, but also that whole connectivity with everybody else. Like I said, I spoke to some of the communities that are on board. Commissioner Williams, have you had any discussions with the mayor of Grafton?
No, I had none on this.
Because that's the smallest community
Right.
we've done in Lorain County. So
I'll be talking with her on another issue later this evening. So, question for you on, they're handling your IT needs, correct? As far
Well,
as
we actually have OneLink, who was our IT provider, but they were the consultant on selecting a IT provider, which
Okay.
was OneLink. And we had a competent group before. I don't want to say anything which would suggest that they were not good, but OneLink was better, and then the price was better as well. So we were able to make the decision. They provided us with the options, and we decided to go with OneLink. We've been very pleased with their performance. That contract is up March 31st, and we're going to be meeting shortly to look at another proposal from OneLink, from OneLink as part of the Tequiti proposal. They're going to give us again another matrix of the various options we have with other providers. So they are committed to providing us a choice, and they're going to make recommendations based on the price and the value of the service. And we value that very highly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's nice to actually let you hear, you were able to speak today. I know when we met, Mayor Hunter likes to talk too, so he kind of interrupted you a few times.
If I could make a comment.
Yeah, come on up. Is Sheffield Village going to be part of this also, or are they already?
We've completed all the cost reduction process, and we've already given Mayor Hunter his roadmap for improving his infrastructure so that he can not only get better productivity internally and have one integrated solution in the village, but then connect to the superhighway, whatever you want to call it, in the county. And that's what we would do for you, is we would want to look at what broadband assets do you have, what do you need individually first, and then say, okay, how can we connect to the broadband across the county? And what value would that bring? So we want to look at what we can do for you individually and then collectively.
I'm really interested in that part of it, Don, just because of the difference in all the phone systems. I mean, because even in some of the polls we've taken amongst businesses, one of the major issues is multiple phone companies and service, because we're in the rural area versus the AT&T universe of
Right.
Cuyahoga. So I know that's an issue with.
Cuyahoga County is in a little better, is a much better position because 97% of that county is one vendor,
Right.
and we're negotiating with AT&T right now. You have 3 telephone companies. About 40% of maybe 50% is Frontier. The balance is between CenturyLink and Windstream. Well, we have a contract with Windstream, but you have 60% or more of your county that needs the same kind of commitment from those two other telephone companies. We need to have them part of the solution, not part of the problem. And that is where your support in these negotiations with these telephone companies is crucial. Not only because you're a county government, but you're a large customer and you have influence throughout the county. We kind of enable the collaboration, the negotiations. It's the customers that really have the leverage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk?
Okay. Under the clerk's report, on February 27th, the commissioners will meet at 6 o'clock p.m., and then at 6:15 there will be a straw Hague hearing. Under board correspondence,
Move the reading be waived.
Second?
any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Any public comment today?
Anyone wishing to address the board this morning? It looks like we have mostly all staff here at this point. Carlisle's here. Motion to go into executive session is outlined by the county administrator.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.